guys. Well, it is Wednesday evening already. It is July 5th and we spent today harvesting carrots. Oh my goodness, it turned out to be this big event and we harvested so many beautiful carrots. It was a very successful harvest, but we were both absolutely filthy. I mean, I had dirt in my eyes. It was insane. So with it being 90 degrees today, it left me a little bit tapped out, and we were not going to come out tonight. We were in the house with the air conditioning on because it's so humid here today and it was so hot, but we decided to come out and bring the birds out. You can see they're behind me. That's a dodo bird and behind me there are our 3 parrot babies. But we stopped to, of course, have a look at everything. We can't resist it. So we decided to have a look down at the Thornburns terracotta, and we think that we have our first tomato harvest. So let's turn you around and have a look and see how ripe it is. Oh my goodness. Check it out in there. Oh my goodness. And then we're going to harvest this. It's not completely ready, but it feels like it might be a little bit soft, and it's very warm. So it's had a full day of sun. It hasn't rained today, but yesterday was like epic biblical rain. I'm not even kidding you. But this Thornburns terracotta is a big giant producer, and I'm hoping that the tomatoes taste as delicious as as we're hoping. All right, guys, this has a big fat stem on it, and where is the stem? It's all the way in here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, no, it took multiple tomatoes. So the Thornburns came crashing down. What a strange stem system. It turns out the bottom of it actually split from all of the rain. And when I tell you we had epic rain, I can't even overemphasize. So I had to rush it into the house because it was split. And it has a strange vine system where there's like numerous tomatoes connected to a main stem that goes into the one tomato. So it ended up bringing down 3 other green tomatoes with it, but it's okay because now I have green tomatoes that will just take their time on the windowsill, and they won't get any bigger, but they will ripen. So we've come back to the main garden here, and we're just doing our nightly walkthrough. And of course I'm clean, and I even have on like a nightgown, but I'm back here with my gardening flip-flops, so I'm gonna have to clean my feet and my hands are getting tomato tar on them again. I mean, this is a process with us gardeners where we'll go in, we'll get all clean, and then what do? We come right back out here to the garden and we harvest. So Farmer John is on bug patrol over there. So we have some beautiful Cocozelle and Black Beauty zucchinis that we're going to go ahead and harvest and bring them in. And let me show you what else we found. Wow, look at these beautiful zucchinis over here. And I have another big, look at all these flowers. Oh my goodness, we're having a pretty controlled zucchini run this year because I planted substantially less, but the zucchini, there's a beautiful, perfect zucchini down there. Wow. So let me reach in and grab these and then I'll show you. All right. So we grabbed a few. We're keeping our zucchinis tiny this year, which they're most delicious at this point anyway. So we'll go ahead and put them in the house, and we're already starting our harvest for the weekend. So I have a huge thing of stuff in there that we ate today, but looks like we're going to have daily zucchini at this point. Here's my tender green cucumbers that are growing here. I got a nice cucumber in there growing. Ooh, that's going to be pretty. I think I'm going to harvest that one tomorrow. There's another one down there. There's actually a bunch. I probably have a dozen cucumbers. This is a new variety for us, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys taste. Again, this is the tender green from M.I. Gardner. He might actually have some left with the 50% off sale. Now, right here, we have next to our cornfield, we do our zucchinis, and then we have our eggplants, which are looking better than ever for this time of the year. Now, they are suffering from some pest pressure, but as I said, we've been spraying them. Well, John's coming out weekly when it's not raining, and he is spraying with spinosad. So they're looking really good. And today, Farmer John discovered on the Casper eggplant that we have. Casper eggplants, yay! Now this variety of eggplant has a little bit of a mushroomy flavor. It cooks up really, really nice. I think I saw there's a couple little babies in there. Let's see if you can see them. Yeah, so there's like 2 or 3 babies in there. So this plant looks really, really good. So I think I did 1, 2, 3 Caspers. I'm trying to remember everything that I planted. I see purple flowers down in there. So there could even be a couple of eggplants started in this plant. But these guys, you can tell from the purple veining across the leaf. This and that one there are the Rosita eggplants. And we do have little buds and babies that will be starting. This is a wonderful eggplant if you're trying to consider what type of variety of eggplant you'd like to grow. This is a Puerto Rican eggplant, and it really does produce massive amounts of fruit, and they're very, very disease resistant, and they're easy to cook and delicious. So that is the eggplant. We have a few Chadwick cherry tomatoes ripening, and we are getting a little bit of blight. I've been pulling it off. I mean, considering how much rain we had, you guys, oh, the tomatoes look incredible. We are losing a lot of our soil though, so I've about had it with the fact that these beds back here, we never really properly built beds around them because we just had so much going on. So one of the next projects is to build little retaining beds so that we don't continue to lose our soil, because that is very frustrating. So, oh, look at the Grappoli di Inverno sets. Really, really beautiful. And over here we have all of these beautiful Borghese tomatoes. There's already just hundreds and hundreds of tomatoes. Wow, really gorgeous. Look at the purple opal basil. What a beautiful addition to the garden. These marigolds are a volunteer from last year. So you never know what's popping up. Even these guys here, we'll see what we get out of those. We let some things go wild because they were there, so we'll let them grow wild. And when they're in the way, we uproot them and we just pick them up and put them into other beds. But those guys are a little bit too big for transplanting, I think, so they'll be riding out the storm, even though they are in the way of my hose when I pull the hose out. But wow, what a beautiful garden that we have setting here in the evening. Lots of flowers are starting to open. We have these more zinnias, and these zinnias are just so beautiful. Look at that flower. Oh, we have a green one. Oh, it's a green zinnia. That is going to be gorgeous tomorrow. I can't wait to see it. And look, Candy Floss Cosmos is starting to get buds. We have tons of bees on the borage. Let me zoom in here for you. The borage is going crazy. You can see it all just laying down in the pathways here. So again, we let everything get a little bit wild back here, but the tomatoes are really, really happy. And you can see as we go down, oh look, Hungarian heart started to blush today. Very, very delicate blush on those. So that's exciting. Considering that our first Thornburns terracotta was just anticlimactic because it split and it fell off. So that was an upsetting experience. But the bees are not upset. They're like, lady, just let us alone. Everything is perfect in this garden. So this is the Abe Lincoln, and these guys are producing really low down there, but you can see from the other side, I have multiple levels of tomatoes growing here. So they're doing really good. And the thing that I'm happy about the Abe Lincoln right now is that the blossoms are doing good. Considering we're in 90-degree temperatures, we're having a tremendous amount of like biblical rain here. But the Abe Lincoln looks like it's a tomato that wants to show up as predicted in its 90-day cycle, which is fine because we have all of these other tomatoes right now that are going to be available very soon. So if the Abe Lincoln takes his time, and this is a classic beef down there, and that is, I can't even overemphasize, that is a huge tomato. So there's several huge tomatoes, all fasciated and cat-faced. So It's going to be an interesting harvest when we start pulling these guys out. So I have to start deadheading this Cosmos. Brandywines though, you guys, Brandywine pink. I have to say, I'm not really sure that I love the way this grows. This has been my biggest problem with blight. I have to come back and prune it daily. But, you know, in the same note, I can tell you that I'm going to try to get the camera down in there. I have an absolutely, let's get you out of the way. The Cosmos, that's a Brandywine down there. That one weighs probably close to a pound. So even if I only get one really great tomato off of the Brandywine pink, I'll be happy. It will have paid for itself. Oh gosh, look. The Park Swappers are now yellow. Yay, we're on track. So I don't know if you've been following along, you guys, but I said we can expect blushing and tomatoes to be harvested between the 5th and the 15th. Here we are on the 5th, and the Park Swappers are starting to blush. They look really beautiful. The one plant has like 10 tomatoes in a set. So these are really gorgeous. And oh my goodness, the borage has gotten so big it's laying down in the ground. So we're gonna have to take the long way around and have a look at the rest of the tomatoes. Wow. Really excited to see when this one Kellogg's breakfast decides to start to ripen. Look at all these sets of these tomatoes. This is craziness. Yep. And of course it's blushing, but we're gonna have 5,000 tomatoes all at the same time. There's tons of them. Lots more purple opal basil, you guys. This is a really wonderful basil to grow. It gets these beautiful little pink flowers on it. And I have these at the bottom of the Baker Creek Amish paste tomato and the mix of the San Marzano Lungo and the mystery Abruzzi pear that we keep calling it. But this tomato bed is doing really, really good. Look at these guys. So yeah, we're giving you a different vantage point from the heat of the day. So you can see without all the sun blaring. It's very buggy back here though. So you can see how many carrots I actually took out of this bed today. So it's looking a little bit sparse, and there's some kind of a fly attacking me right now. So I think I'm gonna have to go back to the patio. I'm getting eaten alive. These are my Marketmore cucumbers, which are taking tremendously long. It's July 5th and I haven't harvested a true cucumber yet. Now, I don't really know why these are taking so long, but they're usually substantially bigger by now. It's been a very strange year, and it's scary with all of this rain. I don't know if the cucumbers are going to get waterlogged and just turn yellow and fall off. Jerry melons are coming along though. That's pretty exciting. And my dragon's egg cucumbers are starting to really bush up nicely. But something that we discovered today, which for July, look at these red Brussels sprouts. I can't believe that they look like this. These are the Rubine red Brussels sprouts from Baker Creek. It's July. I don't think that they should look like this. Even the kale is still hanging on. We have a ton of Toscano, scarlet kale, and they are actually starting to form baby Brussels sprouts in July. So again, I said this in one of the other videos, the only difference is that we allowed some other kale to go to seed. So I don't know if all the bugs are going into the seed or if it's repelling them or what. It's a real mystery. But all I know is if we stay at this rate, we're going to have red Rubine Brussels sprouts to harvest. And let's see, there's some Groningers in there growing as well. So we've even harvested a ton of broccoli. This is really encouraging. Well, now's the time of the year where we start to get these absolutely beautiful sunsets in our suburban sky here in New Jersey. And there was some rain that went through Philadelphia, which is not so very far from us, and it keeps looking like it's threatening rain, but it just hasn't rained yet today. So, you know, we're in a place where everything needs to stay watered, but it's too much water. You know, the main tomato bed looks pretty moist, but wow, that tomato, that's a Park Swapper. Look at these park swappers from this vantage point. Now we're standing on the other side. There's a little bit of blight, but as I keep saying, we had so much rain. If this is the worst of it, I've been staying on top of it. Not a single thing fell down. The garden stayed up completely. Yesterday's rain was so scary. I thought for sure we were either going to have something go down or we were going to have things get really, really sick. But I'm able to just get in here and clip off anything that gets blighty, and it's okay because these leaves are old at this point. They're a couple months old. Keeping good management of the tomato bed early on and keeping everything clipped up and pruned really makes all the difference in the world. And having all of these flowers is keeping everything healthy too, because we're getting full pollination on the flowers. So you can see that. I mean, when you don't have full pollination in your blossoms, they rot and they fall off, or your tomatoes have problems. But because we have so many pollinators from all of these flowers, it benefits everything. So look, oh my goodness, my Roma tomatoes are doing just incredibly well. So my blazing star liatris is finally starting to show some signs of blooming here. So these are supposed to be all big, tall, purple, spiky flowers, which is going to add interest. And then I have a bunch of different cosmos. There's, I don't know, 5 or 6 at least varieties of cosmos that will come in this bed as the anemone dies back. There's still some new anemones coming up, but wow, that was just an amazing flower to have. And of course we have all of the beautiful zinnias that are opening. This is one of our favorites right now. I think John is like majorly obsessed with this flower because it looks like, wow! It's like, it has a little, like a halo headset around it, and then those little tiny yellow frills. It almost looks like somebody came with yellow thread and sewed like a halo crown onto the flower. Really gorgeous. So this is an interesting color that's coming up as well. Let's see if we can get focus on there. Wow, that's like a very antique, dusty apricot rose color. And you just never know what the zinnias are going to open to be. So they are just, a continued point of interest, something to come out and look at every single day. And of course the snapdragons and my amazing lupin. Some more of it opened today. Really, really beautiful. I even like the unopened portions of it. So really, really gorgeous. Oh, look at the sunset, you guys. Oh, really gorgeous. Wow, we love our summer sunsets. You can see, I don't know if you can see, the sun is right over the tomato trellis, just peeking through the trees. Really gorgeous. So I'm just sitting down here on my ancient stone bench. I didn't really elaborate too much on this bench. Look at the sunset behind me and the beautiful daisies. Really incredible. This bench is just, it seems special to me because I was born in Philadelphia, and I love Philadelphia. My heart aches for Philadelphia every single day. It's just forever on the news. And anyway, I have history of working through Center City, Philadelphia. I had some great jobs in the city, and I always loved the historic portions of it. And one of my jobs, I worked in the late 80s in a place called the Public Ledger Building, and it was across from Independence Square. And from the 6th floor, I could look down and see all of the historic colonial buildings and the original brick and all of the stone that was harvested to create everything. So right now, my other big slab of stone that we bought is sitting over on the ground in the other bed. So we'll be making a second bench. But this bench I'm sitting on that I told you about, where I can get to look and see the sunset behind me. Look at that. I really love this bench. So I don't really remember what portion. They said it was some sort of a big demolition area where they took up the streets and they took up a building, and they had giant slabs of bluestone and granite and brownstone, sandstone, limestone, so many varieties. So this was very, very expensive what I'm sitting on right now, but it's okay. It's got a lot of history. It was well worth it. So look at the sunset. Now this garden tour happened, we do this every night. Like I said, I'll go in and get a shower and I'll be fully prepared to settle down, and I'm convinced that we're gonna have a night of TV. Do we have a night of TV? No, because the parrots wanna come out, our birds, our children. So the boys wanna come out. They don't care how humid it is. I, on the other hand, care how humid it is, but still, I'm out here again with my tomato tar hands. And the real reason, besides bringing them out to hang out back in their aviary, they like to watch the sunset. I have to close up the greenhouse because we never know what happens in the overnight hours. So you guys are getting, I'm dragging you along for another garden tour just because I wanted to come out and close up the greenhouse. It's so strange having the greenhouse like empty besides a few supplies. I'm getting ready to order all new supplies for my fall and winter crops. So I have a whole new plan. So we're going to be a functioning garden with garden content for many, many months. I mean, even in the dead of winter, I'll probably manage to have some garden content, but this is the first year where I'm going above and beyond to really grow all sorts of varieties for the cold weather crops. Check this out though, you guys. Through all of these tours, I have forgotten to show you that my celery is actually growing. You know, this is a cooler weather variety, but even in the 90 degrees, you know, I have it facing east. So it's not getting full blast sun, but it's actually celery. I'm pretty excited. And look at these beautiful pansies. Oh, they're really doing well here also. And I'm surprised because they get a good amount of sun. But what beautiful little flowers. I already have them in my cart from my next Baker Creek order. And we have the beautiful Lady Everly. I love this statuary. She's very spirited to me. But what a bummer that our first Thornburns terracotta, I'm so upset because yesterday I looked at it and I said, I need to grab the Thornburns out of there before all of this rain comes. And then we missed it. We went out yesterday, which is a whole other story. Came home to torrential rain. And today I committed to it and I waited all day long. I had a feeling it was going to split. I'll have to see. It's not fully ripened, but I'll have to see if I can salvage any of it. We're just dying to taste homegrown tomatoes though. So what a bummer, but it is what it is. We have like 5,000 tomatoes coming up after it. So I'm sure we'll have plenty after this. Thank goodness for Farmer John, and he is very diligent about coming out and deadheading our beautiful daylily collection. Because I'm really bad at it. So the more you take the dead blooms off every day, the more they come up and they'll keep blooming through the year. But we are going to be uprooting every single plant here this year. It's going to be a tremendous job. And we're going to take each plant, which is probably 2 feet in diameter, and we're going to split them. With the plants being this big, we could easily get 8 plants out of one bush. And we're going to be spreading them throughout the entire yard. But these are some of the most beautiful flowers. They have been blooming without being split for, I don't know, 7 years now? How long do you think it's been? Six or 7 years, maybe even longer. So once we go ahead and divide them, it's going to be an amazing, like they'll get even bigger and they'll produce even more flowers. So they are just so beautiful. And it's funny though, one of the new flowers that I bought over here, which this whole area is getting renovated as well. This one here is called Cave Lion. This is a new flower, but it's so similar to the ones that I just showed you. I just never knew their name. And this one looked like it was slightly different in the picture, but it's not. So once again, I bought like all these lilies that I had already had. So what are you gonna do? Now I have plenty. So now there's 2 flowers on the Mexican sunflower plant. There were all sorts of birds hopping around out here today. So I think even the finches are loving that flower. So it's pretty exciting. I just love the wildflower nature of this bed. It's all a little bit messy. This is an area that we just never was able to get on top of, and it keeps changing. So right now I love it though. I love its wild meadow nature. I love all of the birds that come to visit it and all the bees. We have the black hollyhocks here. So today a hawk was sitting up on top of the tomato trellises, and it was just an incredible sight to see. So now you guys get to sit here and watch my wet Irish hair become like Medusa. It was fairly smooth when I stepped out the door. What are you gonna do? It's another thing. I'm in a place now, you guys, where I say, it is what it is, it's whatever. You know, this is something I'm saying all day long. If you only knew the weekend that we had, we didn't even go into any of the details of the insanity of this weekend. Poor Farmer John had an extended week off, so his company was closed for the holiday on Monday and Tuesday, and he took off today just to give himself a 5-day weekend. But there's some days where I swear I think he's happy on his go into the office days, because it's like a day off, because the wheels of motion that crank on this property and inside of this house, it never ends. It's one thing after another, and we had one debacle after another this weekend. It was one thing after another, and I'm not even getting into the story of the storm and what happened with the storm yesterday. It was just absolute craziness. We had gone off to the farm to have an ice cream, and we very, very rarely have ice cream. You know, when I eat stuff like that now, I don't feel good anymore. So my body is so detoxed of sugar and junk food that when I eat any sort of junk, I literally don't feel good. So, you know, but we love to go to the farm. We love their ice cream. It tastes delicious. And it's a wonderful experience for about 5 minutes until it gets into our bloodstream. And then we're like, oh my God, I am so sorry that I ate that ice cream. But normally we walk around the farm and we enjoy ourselves. They have animals, and it's a beautiful vista of land around the farm. They have apple tree orchards and peach tree orchards. There's the wagons, pulls that they take people out to go out and pull sunflowers out in the fields, and it's just really, really beautiful. So we tend to go, and on Tuesday nights they have, it used to be Pay the Temperature Tuesday, where no matter what the temperature was, that was the price of your kid-sized cone. And they're tiny little kid-sized cones, so they're the perfect size. We would get two. We would start off with a vanilla cone, and then we would go back and get a chocolate. And you know, having two of them gives us the option to, you know, it's better than buying one big large one, because we get to have two different flavors. Anyway, we got our cones. Now it's not Temperature Tuesday anymore, it's half off Tuesday. So a small teeny tiny ice cream is $2. It's okay. It's much more expensive everywhere else, but still, a $2 ice cream cone to me is expensive. So we got our ice cream cones. We realized the girl forgot it was Pay the Temperature Tuesday, or half off Tuesday, so she charged us full price. Then a bunch of other people came up behind us, and they were all complaining about the same thing, so they all got the same girl. The good news is she was generous, and she gave us big ice creams for the price, so we were pretty excited when we got her, and we're like, wow, she gave us this huge ice cream, but she charged us full price. So we had to wait in line, and we were getting held up at the farm. So we went on a quick walk, and when we went on a quick walk, we realized the sky was turning black in the direction of our house, which is about 10 minutes away. So, you know, we ate the ice cream. We had to go back at the window and deal with the fact that they charged us full price, so they didn't care. They're like, we understand, it was no problem. Here's your second ice creams, and we just didn't have to pay for it. So, but there was something happening at the window, and there was this group of people, and they were like majorly holding up the line, but no one else was there. There was like 20 people, and it was taking forever, all while the sky was turning black. And I was starting to get really upset. So by the time we got our second ice cream, I was now in panic mode. Well, I never licked down ice cream so fast, and I'm like, this is it, we have to get in the car now. Well, I'm driving like Speed Racer, all while eating an ice cream cone, and it's not one straight run. I had to turn, we were on rural roads that bend around, and you know, it's like I've got an ice cream cone in one hand, I've got the steering wheel, the rain's starting to come down. By the time we got to the house, the scary thing was, when we left out of here, I never closed up the greenhouse. So a big enough storm with the roof open and the door open could have done who knows what kind of damage. Just as we pulled into the driveway, I had said, did you lock the gate? So he's like, no, the gate's still open. So I threw the car in the park, shoved the ice cream cone in my mouth, ran through the driveway and up in. As soon as I stepped inside of the greenhouse, the sky opened. The sky turned dark. The rain came down in buckets. And never did I have such bad ice cream indigestion. And we worked so hard. It's like we wanted to taste this ice cream so badly, but we didn't enjoy it. And it's like, I feel like all things point to me just never leaving the house. The universe does not want me to leave my garden. So the beautiful thing is, as we stood here, and there were a few incidents that happened with the rain, nothing major, but John had to come out. He got soaking wet. It was torrential sideways rain. We could see the wind whipping, and it was making the rain bounce off of things in like waves. It was craziness. But I stood at the window and I looked out at the garden and nothing was moving. The corn wavered a little bit, but we didn't lose a single tomato. The worst thing that happened was our first big, beautiful, oversized Thornburns terracotta split from all the rain. But everything looks incredible. Everything held up. We felt so blessed. We came out after the storm and the garden was like happy as can be back here. So I don't know what the long-term effects of all of this rain will be on our garden. We still have to wait and see because the tomatoes can start to get sick from this. So we don't know if they'll develop blossom end rot from taking up so much rain, or if the blossoms are going to fall off, because we're going from 90 degrees in the days to crazy rainstorm for days on end. And you just never know what nature's going to throw at you. But you know, I keep saying we're small, we are in the way, we are in the path of nature, and we have to let nature do what she's going to do. So I always say every single day that I'm so grateful for everything that we have out here. And it seems like right now we're getting spared. You just never know though. And you know, I say that with my heart on my sleeve though, because so many people are suffering from the catastrophic climate change that we're dealing with. And you know, I don't know, is this something that we all think is just going to one day magically stop? That we're going to just have what used to be normal weather again, normal seasons, normal summer, normal for your region. What is normal now? What is normal? So we are now really bracing on multiple levels. And something else that happened yesterday that was another like eye-opening thing for me was MI Gardener announced that he was having a 50% off sale and bracing us for the fact that prices are going to go up ever so slightly in the fall because of the impact of the prices of everything and the climate, what's happening with farmers and how this is affecting farmers. And I thought, well, I didn't really wrap my brain around our seed vendors and our seed connections being affected by everything that's happening. It's kind of like, you know, you turn the light switch on and electricity magically comes out of a socket. You put the faucet on and water magically comes out. And you think that you place an order with your favorite seed people and the seeds are just magically there. And as a grower, I shouldn't be so ignorant. So every day I learn. Every day there's a lesson to learn, and every day there's a sense of awareness to think about growing a garden like this and what it is that we're actually doing. So I have to learn to start harvesting my own seed. I absolutely have to. And we already started with the peppers, and you know, basil's a major opportunity to easily harvest seed. And now we think we're going to venture into some of the tomatoes. I might isolate a few blossoms and see what I can get, because we don't want to be in a position where we can't get seeds. Yes, we have an amazing garden here where the earth is sparing us with all of its storms, and we're rolling with climate change, and we're learning to sun map and move our beds around for the best exposure and you know, have the best production. But if you can't get seeds and there's no good water, what are you going to do? And what are we going to do if the sky continues to be darkened by all of the smoke that we're suffering from here, from other countries? And we've had several forest fires here in New Jersey that have caused us problems. We can't even bring our birds out because the air is so unhealthy. So as we walk around on nights like this, And even though I complain for a second and I say, oh, my hair was all neat and I felt so clean, but now I'm back out here with wild Medusa hair and I have tomato tar on my hands already after I just took a refreshing shower. There's nothing more magical than coming out and plugging your hands into the soil and experiencing tomato tar from your own garden and the feel of soil under your fingernails. And today, while I harvested that beautiful harvest of carrots, I had my hands deep into that moist, beautiful black soil back there. My back hurt, I was bent over, I got sunburn, and it was like, this is what makes it all worth it. When you can put your time in and you're gifted back these bounties. We have to appreciate it for every single moment because we do not know what's going to happen, literally. And they say you can't take days for granted. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. We don't know how bad this is going to get with climate change, the prices of things, and the availability of seeds in the future. If the farmers are suffering, there's no water in places. Well, you know, I chat with people, some of my subscribers here. It breaks my heart when I hear about gardens drying up and there's no rain, and you know, so much is going wrong. And here I am with this beautiful garden that gives us so much. You'll see as you follow along with us what the size of our harvests are for simple suburban half-acre property suburban gardeners. This isn't a farm, this is no, you know, big deal, but we've made it into a big deal. We've invited all of the pollinators here. We have so many flowers now. We have never had such beautiful showing of flowers, and all of our vegetables are producing so much yield. We truly believe that it's from all of the bees. So this is something that we have to keep in mind, how nature, you know, everything interacts. We need the sky to be clear. We need the right amount of rain to come down. We rely on the bees to come. We rely on the birds, everything that comes to work to pollinate. So anyway, you guys, I could rant on all day long about what's happening with climate change and how it makes me feel. You know, so with that in mind, lightheartedly, I will say, it didn't take too much convincing for me to place a major order with my gardener this morning. So I don't know, I think I ordered like almost 100 packs of seeds because I know that seeds are good for years. One of the things that I ordered and encouraged me was that, you know, Luke has the giant crimson tomato, and his story of the tomato, 2 tomato seeds being 75 or 85 years old. He started 2 seeds, 1 plant made it, and now he has the ability to share these seeds with everyone. So we went ahead and we got our giant crimson seeds, and I thought to myself, if that tomato seed could live for 85 years and leave a legacy to go on and produce enough seeds for so many people to enjoy these tomatoes, I think that there's a chance that I can harvest some seeds from some of these tomatoes and hold on to them for years, and hopefully we'll get to a point where we're almost independent of our favorite things and that we're just harvesting our own seeds. So anyway, guys, it was so nice to chat with you. Stay tuned for lots of content coming up. We will be doing some serious harvesting coming up very, very soon. We'll have plenty of beautiful sunsets behind us, lots of colorful flowers to bloom. And as always, I'm really enjoying the friendships that we're creating here on this channel of wonderful people who watch every single video. You know who you are. I think about you guys all the time. We consider you friends. We love seeing your comments, and we're so grateful to have you come in these tours with us. So anyway, you guys, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. My name is Leigh. There's Farmer John. He's the dirty guy. So, and we have our baby birds in the background. So anyway, you guys, I'll see you in the next video.